Sunday afternoon in the mag room. I said I was in the mag room. Oh, here she comes. Do you want to say anything before she comes on?
I don't like my sister, and I hope that this drives a rift between us that we'll never be able to come back from, and I can finally make the break that I've been trying to make for 40.
Wow. That's not what I expected
5 years.
You to say.
Oh, what were we going for there?
Like it's a Sunday afternoon in the mag room with,
right.
with a guest, special guest, your sister.
Oh, okay.
All around the world you can hear them. Hey, hey, hey. Talking about using kind of funny stuff. Hey, hey, hey. Mag-room. Mag-room. The mag-room. The mag-room.
Hey, Lori's here. Yay. No taking that back.
Oh, no. All right.
Hello.
Wow, there she is. Look at that hat.
Nobody dressed up.
Oh, wow.
We were supposed to dress up.
Who are you? H.H. Holmes?
I'm Stevie Nicks, for Christ's sakes.
Oh, that's a good one.
I've got my thing on.
Oh, I didn't even see.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
hard to see that with the
Yeah.
angle.
I thought.
Are the kids going trick-or-treating?
Tomorrow, yes. Yeah, they block off like 5 or 6 streets from traffic, and they ask for for parents to like donate candy to these houses, and then all the town just goes to these streets. It's fun.
We don't get anybody at our house.
Oh, that stinks.
I have the candy in case they come, but one year, like one of the first years I lived here, and I realized people weren't coming, and I ran out to do an errand, and I had candy at the house, but I was driving home, and there was a couple with 2 little girls walking on a street next to mine. So I rolled down my window and I said,
Hey kids,
Come in the
to
car.
my house.
I got tons of candy in the car.
Do you want some candy?
I said, come to my house. I have candy. Not realizing that what's the first thing you teach your kids? Never take candy.
I can give you a ride over there if it's easier.
Smell this rag that I've got. It smells like Halloween.
They did follow my car to the house and got candy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many towns now do the like trunk or treat thing where it's like one area where everybody drives and
My
walk
street
around
is it.
in a circle, and
My street is the one in Jupiter Farms.
that people go to.
There's my street and the one right behind it. And if you try to get out of my house at like 8 o'clock on last night, it's a nightmare. Trailers and hay rides, and I mean, it's never ending. From like 6:30 till like 9:30, it is just a cavalcade of children, and then their parents. Everybody knows me too, so then everybody wants to talk to me.
It's so hard how popular
It is.
you are.
It is. It's not. I'm not saying I'm popular. I'm just saying everybody
Everybody
knows me.
knows me.
It's fun at like 7 when the little kids have to be.
Yes.
But then by like 9 o'clock when it's the teenagers, you're like, you're just done.
Yes.
They're not as
Should-
cute.
8 o'clock should be the end. I think the one downtown here is 5 to 8.
Okay. I
So-
usually go till about 8, and then I just leave the candy on the porch if there's any left.
That's what I do. I just put a box of candy out there and hope that children
The
have some
first
sense
kid
of.
takes it.
Well, what was your? I hated Milk Duds. Those are the worst. Milk Duds are the worst candy.
Oh, I love Milk Duds.
Oh,
I
you're
hated
the worst person.
Necco wafers. When someone would give
Oh,
you
yeah.
Necco
That's-
wafers,
Yeah. That
basically like they're giving you medicine. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
have any medicine, but it tastes like medicine.
Are they still around, the Necco wafers?
I think so.
I mean, I bet they age well. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like you could still.
You can go on eBay.
There's never not going to be Necco wafers in this world.
Interesting. Someday it'll be a hellscape.
It'd be like
and
they're like
I'll be
roaches. It's
eating
like
Necco
roaches. Yeah.
wafers.
Someday you might be foraging for food, and the only sustenance
What are you
have
surviving
is
on?
Necco,
The Necco wafer.
Necco
One
wafers and
Halloween.
Twinkies. You know what gets on that I don't think deserves it is candy corn. I think
Oh,
people
it's not
don't
good.
like candy corn. You don't like candy? I think
No.
candy corn's great.
I
And
like.
you do too, Laura?
Yes.
It tastes
In
kinda
like small
plastic.
doses, candy corn is a good sweet.
It is. It'll make you sick if you overdo it, though.
Yeah, you can't eat a lot of it.
I don't like the coating of it.
Yeah.
It's just a weird
waxy.
texture. I feel like I'm eating a candle or something.
What's wrong with that?
Nice. So I don't know what my favorite. I'm not. This Mark's gonna be like another. You don't like fun. Not a huge chocolate guy. I mean, I like the Sour Patch Kids.
I like Twizzlers.
Yeah, I like
loser.
Smarties. I like Smarties.
Smarties, love the Smarties, the sweet
Oh.
tarts.
Yeah, that's me too. I'm not way into
Why don't
chocolate.
you have your own podcast? You like Smarties? That's in the Necco wafer category.
No, it's a little bit
Oh,
different.
not even close.
What? Because they're
I'll
tart?
have a good almond joy. I like an almond joy
Oh,
with the
who
coconut.
doesn't like? All right, almond joy is way up. You
Yeah.
just chose like the Cadillac of, especially the little ones where you're guaranteed an almond in there.
Yes. Whew. Yeah, that's
Good
a good
stuff.
one. But even I like, so I don't even like chocolate,
Coconut.
but I'll have almond joy. Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun. And the kids will get a bunch of candy and then I can steal what I want.
Whatchamacallit? Do you like whatchamacallits?
I haven't had
They
that.
still around? Jeez.
That's a good one. That was always my favorite.
Really?
I think so. And
Those
I
are
like
hard
Kit
to
Kats.
get.
I was a Kit Kat fan.
I got
Kit
a,
Kat's
Twix bar here. I think a Twix is a pretty good one too.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's got the cookie part to it.
Do kids still do seances and like dead as a female, light as a feather?
Laura grew up in the 1890s.
I also love that she asked us that. Where is it like?
Do kids still have their own kettles that they brew things in, or do you?
Do kids still help with churning butter?
What kind of things do they brew? There's a lot of brewing going on.
You have kids. That's why.
Oh,
What's the schoolhouse like in
What kind of school marms?
What the did you grow up, Laurie?
No, didn't you do seances, or you'd have someone lay in the middle of the floor and you'd go, "She's as dead as a doornail. She's as light as a feather. So let us lift," and then we would pretend that we.
Floated?
Yeah,
Did it ever happen?
we convinced ourselves that it did. I don't.
Okay.
So you think that you do you think that you levitated?
Well, I probably didn't, but we were all.
But you think that but there's part of you that thinks that you did?
It felt like I was, but
Really?
no one else could see it.
Who was there? Like
Girlfriends, like we do it at sleepovers and stuff.
Yeah. It's the energy.
Do seances.
Maybe they were levitating your soul.
Seances summon the dead.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that's a seance, really. That's a.
So who was dead when you were 12 years old with
Well, a
Christy
lot of people were
Gallulo
dead.
yeah, but who were you trying to summon?
JFK, maybe JFK.
Yeah.
You didn't have anything to say to JFK. Stop
Well,
it.
Jared said JFK. For me, it was probably like George Michael or something.
He wasn't dead
He
yet.
was alive, though.
Whatever.
Bring George Michael. But maybe his career at that point.
He's still
Or
alive.
instead of like, I'm not dead, you idiot.
He wants another hit album.
Hello, Laurie. I'm George Michael here.
Stop trying to conjure me. I'm bloody
You
alive.
like me tight jeans, do you? Am I doing an Australian accent?
I don't know. I'm just letting you guys go with it.
I was an example. Like, I can't think of a dead celebrity from when I was a teenager or whatever, but like, we would try to bring back like.
Like Groucho Marx, someone from the silent movie era, or
I'm not that old. I just mean like present day. Maybe I'd try to, if I have a seance.
John
more
Lennon?
people are dead now that you
John
could do.
Lennon.
If I have a seance tonight, I'll probably bring back George Michael or.
Is George
That
Michael
would be who
now
you'd
dead?
bring. Why are you so fixated
know.
on George Michael?
Well, I put on this skeleton earring. And remember the Faith video where he has like one long cross earring? I thought, oh, I look a little like George Michael. So I've got, he's on top of mine, George
I see.
Michael.
I just don't know if he would have that much I would want to ask him.
When you did Faith, was it literally about faith? Like you
How
literally
was
just
that?
have to have faith?
Like when
I'm
Chris
trying to read
Farley
between
had-
the lines.
like when Chris Farley had his interview, Sean.
Remember that?
Remember when you did
That was awesome.
with Aretha Franklin? Yeah, that was great.
That was awesome.
Remember that time in the show?
I guess I'll never get an answer on if kids still do seances or dead as a doornail, light as a feather. So
I don't know the answer.
your kids mustn't.
I mean, maybe behind my back. Maybe it's a secret.
Mustn't. I like mustn't.
Kids have my kids don't, but kids have cell phones now. They don't have to do anything imaginative. They just, they just watch apps on their cell phone.
That's what's wrong with the world. We need
Or they pose in their cell phone and dance.
More seances.
more seances. That's my
More
things
seances,
that
less
bring
app.
people together.
Less TikTok, more seances.
yes. of
That's been our
course.
theme, like with our Tower Records story. Same thing. Do you want to read this story? This scary story.
Yeah. This is our Halloween episode. It's the night before Halloween.
Halloween.
Right now. And I thought it'd be fun to do.
You gonna get it out by tomorrow night for Halloween?
Well, that is the challenge here, and we've already been talking for 9 hours. So yeah, I just thought it would be fun to do a classic like horror story for Halloween. So I'll try to get this out by the 31st. And I picked an Edgar Allan Poe story because I love Edgar Allan Poe.
So I'm gonna read. I'm the narrator. You made me the bad person. And
but don't you like it? This is a good story.
And then
dude.
Lori is playing Fortunato.
So then the name of the story is The Cask of Amontillado.
Yeah, I said the Cask of Armadillo because that's what keeps coming in my head.
I like
Cask
it.
of Armadillo.
No, that's good. I like it. But it's The Cask of Amontillado, and in case you don't know, which
by a new author called Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Not heard of him.
This was written in 1846. It's in the public domain, so we can do to it whatever we want.
Yep. I actually looked on Wikipedia, and it has a list of things that it's appeared on. I think we should add our show if you publish it.
Can we? If you know, all right, I'll do that.
Edit. I'll put the link. I'll edit. I'll be like appeared on the Mag Room episode.
That's a good idea.
October 31st, 2022.
You should definitely do that. That's a good idea.
All right.
But a cask is a barrel, and Amontillado is a type of wine, like a sherry.
Sherry, which actually you need to know that for later in the story.
Right.
Makes a little bit of a joke.
Yeah.
So I should am I reading this in a normal voice? This is a long story, so it might be hard to.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Whisper.
I kind of want Lori. Lori, will you do kind of a manly voice for your parts? Because
I was struggling with it, but yeah, I suppose. And
the way this guy is dressed, he's kind of dressed like a clown. You kind of have to do
like a Joker.
He has the bells on.
Well, it's just Halloween.
He's got a striped dress. Halloween.
Do you talk like the character that you are?
Oh, this episode is on. This actually happened on Halloween.
Well, it says it's a night of it's a carnival night, right?
I see, carnival.
So it's some sort of a celebration. It doesn't say Halloween, but it happens on like a festival night.
I'm just.
So Jared's gonna be the narrator. Lori's gonna be Fortunato, and I'm just.
I have a lot
in the room.
What do we do if you want to cut in and say something?
I don't know. Just jump in.
Want me to pause at the end of every paragraph?
I'll try not to be too intrusive.
I mean, I have some maybe I'll read up to the first point where we start talking, and we could see what we think after that.
Okay.
The 1,000 injuries of Fortunato I had borne as best I could, but when he ventured upon insult, I vowed revenge. You, who so well know the nature of my soul, will not suppose, however, that gave utterance to a threat. At length, I would be avenged. This was a point definitely settled, but the very definitiveness with which it was resolved precluded the idea of risk. I must not only punish, but punish with impunity.
Yeah.
A wrong is unredressed when retribution overtakes its redresser. It is equally unredressed when the avenger fails to make himself felt as such to him who has done the wrong. It must be understood that neither by word nor deed had I given Fortunato cause to doubt my goodwill. I continued, as was my into smile in his face, and he did not perceive that my to smile now was at the thought of his immolation. He had a weak point, this Fortunato, although in other regards he was a man to be respected and even feared. He prided himself on his connoisseurship in wine. That was I thought that was a weird transition there. The idea that he said he was feared, but it was because he knew wine.
I guess
if you knew wine back then, was that a?
It was definitely. It obviously meant something. It put you. Yeah. It made you. It gave you status in society or whatever. But just like you just said, he was all those things. Yeah. But the only thing he really had was that he was really good at knowing what wines were.
And then he gives a little slam, so we'll keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Few Italians have the true virtuoso spirit. So a little slam on the Italians.
Yeah.
For the most part, their enthusiasm is adopted to suit the time and opportunity to practice imposture upon the British and Australian millionaires. Sorry,
Which I didn't quite get that.
millionaires.
So is he saying Italians like to drink just to with Australians?
No, they drink their wine, I'm sure.
Italians drink Australians wine or vice versa?
Yeah, so they suit the time and up. So there's a party, there's the British and Austrian, like, hey, I know wine. And they come in. They're like, oh, look, a wine guy comes in. They tell him about it. All right. In painting and gemmery, which I looked up the science of gems, in case anyone's wondering, Fortunato, like his countrymen, was a quack. He doesn't know painting.
Poor Fortunato.
But in the matter of old wines, he was sincere. In this respect, I did not differ from him materially. I was skillful in the Italian vintages myself, and bought largely whenever I could.
That's like a humble brag, right? I mean, I believe him too, right?
You made this guy's kind of a dick. You made me the dick.
Yeah.
He's a humble brag. He's a guy who wants revenge. He's kind of tricking the guy.
I
mean, it's going to be
the whole
sort of
revenge
like
thing is the whole
when
revenge
I come
thing.
down to the Magrum Festival and kill you at it. It's going to be the same.
Wait a second.
All right, here we go. It was about dusk.
We're just
one
transitioning
evening.
that quickly. Okay.
Yeah. During the supreme madness of the carnival season, sorry to say carnival. I love the carnival season that I encountered my friend. He accosted me with excessive warmth, for he had been drinking too much. The man wore motley. He had on tight-fitting party-striped dress, and his head was surmounted by the conical cap and bells.
What are you laughing at, Lori?
My tight-fitting party-striped dress.
Yeah, he's got some stripes.
I dressed like Stevie Nicks by accident.
Yeah, there you go. I was so pleased to see him that I thought I should never have done wringing his hand. All right, so that's the intro, and then we're going to go into the stuff. So anybody have anything to say?
I like the line, a wrong is unredressed when retribution overtakes its redresser. It is equally unredressed when the avenger fails to make himself felt as such to him who has done the wrong. So if you're seeking revenge on somebody, you can't let the revenge itself be more than, like you have to be level-headed about it.
Yep.
Sure. He has to know that what he did to you that he's being punished for. He's got away with words.
Lori, any thoughts on your end?
Get into character here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So what do you think of it? How you were presented? How do you like yourself as Fortunato right now? What do you
like?
You like a
But it's only from the perspective of me.
Right.
So we don't know that.
And we don't know what you did to
what do you think he did? What do you think he did? That was one of my questions.
I mean, it sounds like he just treats him like he's condescending to him.
I think that's what
it ridicules him, because he even ridicules him a little bit in here.
And Fortunato he seems like he's just a party guy. He doesn't give a He's like
a rich kid that lets you know that he's rich.
Yeah.
People like him.
Do you know who I am? That kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you know I have to shut my house down on Halloween because I get too much people come that know me.
I didn't like to. I'm not Fortunato. Lori's Fortunato. I'm the guy you're telling. I'm the narrator's friend. I'm in the.
Everybody likes me too much.
Shouldn't have done this episode.
Humble brag.
God.
All right, here we go. So, Lori, are you ready? I said to him, "My dear Fortunato, you are luckily met. How remarkably well you are looking today. But I have received a pipe of what passes for Amontillado, and I have my doubts."
How?
Said he.
Amontillado? A pipe? Impossible. And in the middle of carnival?
I have my doubts, I replied, and I was silly enough to pay the full Amontillado price without consulting you in the matter. You were not to be found, and I was fearful of losing a bargain.
Amontillado?
I have my doubts.
Amontillado?
And I must satisfy them.
Amontillado?
Good bang. I like that.
I like that. That was
All
good.
Right. As you are engaged, I am on my way to see Lucrece. If anyone has a critical turn, it is he. He will tell me.
Lucrece cannot tell Amontillado from Sherry.
And yet some fools will have it that his taste is a match for your own.
Come, let us go.
Whither?
To your vaults.
My friend, no. I will not impose upon your good nature. I perceive you have an engagement. Lucrece.
I have no engagement. Come.
She just wants to get drunk.
My friend, no, it is not the engagement, but the severe cold with which I perceive you are
Oh,
afflicted.
yeah, Laura, you're supposed to be coughing throughout this
The
a little
vaults
bit.
are insufferably damp. They encrusted with nitre.
Let us go nevertheless. The cold is merely nothing. Amontillado, you have been imposed upon. And as for Lucas, he cannot distinguish sherry from Amontillado.
Thus speaking, Fortunato possessed himself of my arm, and putting on a mask of black silk and drawing a roquelier. Roquelier is a cloak. I looked that up. Closely about my person, I suffered him to hurry to my palazzo. There were no attendants at home. They had absconded to make merry in honor of the time. I had told them that I should not return until the morning, and had given them explicit orders not to stir from the house. These orders were sufficient, I knew well, to ensure their immediate disappearance. One and all, as soon as my back was turned. So basically,
Hey guys, I'm gonna be in and out of the house a lot today. Don't think anything's up. If you see me walking through here with a mason trowel and some concrete or whatever, just you guys have a good weekend. It was good to see you. Carry on. Yeah.
don't.
See you Monday.
You can.
You guys are the best. Love
All
you.
right. I took from their sconces 2 flambeaux, and giving one to Fortunato, bowed him through several suites of rooms to the archway that led to the vaults. I passed down a long and winding staircase, requesting him to be cautious as he followed. We came at length to the foot of the descent, and stood together upon the damp ground of the catacombs of the Montresors. That's me. The gait of my friend was unsteady, and the bells upon his cap jingled as he strode.
The pipe.
It is farther on, but observe the white webwork which gleams from these cavern walls. He turned toward me and looked into my eyes with 2 filmy orbs that distilled the rheum of intoxication.
Nitra?
So I think that just means like a flu or something like that.
No, nitre is the it's something on the walls of the cave.
Yeah, like mold or something.
Yeah, that you'd be allergic to. The white work.
Nitre, Nitra.
Yeah, I looked it up. Looked it up.
Nitra.
Oh, good for you.
Nitra, how long? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, so I don't be sure with that.
Nitro.
Nitra, how long? Well, let's just go with it.
Was that the guy from American Gladiators?
Yes, Nitra.
Nitra?
He did a mold thing where he just put mold on people. This is going to be a great part.
He did a mold thing.
How long have you had that cough?
Hmm.
I think there's
Pretty
3
bad,
more. I
dude.
think there's 3 more.
Do you want to? Yeah. That's better. Yeah.
There was 15 coughs.
I know.
Here.
I know. I'm not actually in the story, but do you want a cup of water or something for that? It sounds terrible.
I'm finding it impossible to reply right now.
Nice. That's it. My poor friend found it impossible to reply for many minutes.
It is nothing.
Come, we will go back. Your health is precious. You are rich, respected, admired, beloved. Have people come to your house for trick-or-treating and bother you?
That's not in
You
the
are
story.
happy,
You made
as
that
once
up.
I was. You are a man to be missed. For me, it is no matter. We will go back. You will be ill, and I cannot be responsible. Besides, there is Lucrece.
Enough! The cough's a mere nothing. It will not kill me. I shall not die of a cough.
True. And indeed, I had no intention of alarming you unnecessarily, but you should use all proper caution. A draught of this medoc will defend us from the damps.
Draft.
Draft? Oh, sorry. Draft of this. I knew you were going to...
Draft's like the opposite.
I know you're going to correct me on at least one word. All right. Here I knocked off the neck of a bottle, which I drew from a long row of its fellows that lay upon the mold.
Doesn't that sound like he when you're about to do a bar fight and you knock the bottle off?
Yeah.
The cool move.
Cool way to do it.
Yeah.
Drink, I said, presenting him the wine. He raised it to the lips with a leer. He paused and nodded to me familiarly while his bells jingled.
I drink to the berries that repose around us.
And I to your long life. He again took my
Wait,
arm and we proceeded.
Don't chuckle there. You're going to tip him off.
Wait a minute. Why are you laughing?
Sorry, just a tickle from...
Is something going
It must be the miter.
out here with the nitra?
Is it the miter? Niter?
It's a tickle from being so impressed by your friends and your popularity and how people bring you coffee in your shop.
Oh, shut the up.
and
I'm not a
you
part of the
cannot
story.
get away from candy.
These vaults are extensive.
The Montresors were a great and numerous family.
I forget your arms.
It's a huge human foot door in a field azure. The foot crushes a serpent, rampant, whose fangs are embedded in the heel.
And the motto?
Nemo mi impiu l'assiette.
Good.
Basically means that I don't put up with people or insulting me without taking revenge on them, pretty much.
Does it mean no one provokes you with impunity?
Yeah. The wine sparkled in his eyes and the bells jingled. My own fancy grew warm with the middock. We had passed through the long walls of piled skeletons, with casks and puncheons intermingling into the inmost recesses of the catacombs. I paused again, and this time I made bold to seize Fortunato by an arm above the elbow. The nitra, see it increases. It hangs like moss upon the vaults. We are below the river's bed. Drops of moisture trickle among the bones. Come, we will go back ere it is too late. Your cough.
What were you doing the last couple of days that you're coughing this much?
It was COVID-1.
Oh, yeah.
Let us go on. But first, another draft of the meta.
I broke and reached him a flagon of de Grave. He emptied it at a breath. His eyes flashed with a fierce light. He laughed and threw the bottle upward with a gesticulation I did not understand.
She's committing.
I looked at him in surprise. He repeated the movement, a grotesque one.
You do not comprehend.
Not I?
Then you are not of the Brotherhood.
How?
You are not of the Masons.
Yes.
You? Impossible. A Mason?
A Mason.
A sign. A sign.
It is this, I answered, producing from beneath the folds of my roquelier a trowel.
You jest. But let us proceed to the Amontillado.
So yeah, I showed off what I'm going to later
Oh,
treat
yeah.
you with.
I feel like that part's not written well.
I think it shows that he insults him again.
Well, he's gesticulating, but you don't, you almost have to see that to understand it, I
see.
feel like. And it is written, but it's not. But anyway, Jared was supposed to have shown some sort of sign there that showed that he was that he was a secret society. Yeah, a stonemason.
And I didn't do it. No, I'm not in any society.
But you did whip a trowel out of your pants.
Yeah, because I'm like, hey, I'm a Mason. Look at this.
Guess what? I am a Mason.
I'm always
Yeah, look at your little
always leveling
your little secret
stones.
handshake. Yeah.
I'm always using
Let's go
spackle.
forward.
Be it so, I said, replacing the tool beneath the cloak and again offering him my arm. He leaned upon it heavily. We continued our route in search of the Amontillado. We passed through a range of low arches, descended, passed on, and descending again, arrived in a deep crypt in which the foulness of the air caused our flambeau rather to glow than flame.
I want a crypt.
At the most remote end of the crypt, I'll tell you one thing, I'm not going deep into a crypt with someone.
No.
I'll tell you that much.
Hell no.
Who might have a little vendetta against you.
Yeah.
Well,
He didn't know.
Lori's kind of a in this story.
Thanks.
I know.
There appeared another less spacious.
Thanks.
Its walls had been lined with human remains, piled to the vault overhead, in the fashion of the great catacombs of Paris. 3 sides of this interior crypt were still ornamented in this manner. From the 4th side, the bones had been thrown down and lay promiscuously upon the earth, forming at one point a mound of some size. Within the wall, thus exposed by the deplacing of the bones, we perceived a still interior crypt or recess, in depth about 4 feet, in width 3, in height 6 or 7. It seemed to be.
So you're telling the wine is back in that pile of bones
Yes.
over there?
Seemed to have been constructed for no
weird to
special
me.
use within itself,
Do you guys always put all your good wine back by the
back
bone
in the
pile?
bone.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll
Nobody
keep
steals
walking.
it. I got bad workers. You saw it. None of my workers were here. They would steal my wine. Before merely the interval between two of the colossal supports of the roof of the catacombs, and was backed by one of their circumscribing walls of solid granite. It was in vain that Fortunato, uplifting his dull torch, endeavored to pry into the depth of the recess. Its termination, the feeble light did not enable us to see.
I'm really dopey to follow this guy.
Proceed! Herein is the Amontillado. As for Lucrezi,
He is an ignoramus.
interrupted my friend, as he stepped unsteadily forward while I followed immediately at his heels. Its niche, and finding in niche, and finding an instant he had reached the extremity of the niche, and finding his progress arrested by the rock, stood stupidly bewildered.
Ooh.
A moment more, and I had fettered him to the granite. In its surface were two iron staples distant from each other about 2 feet horizontally. From one of these depended a short chain, from the other a padlock. Throwing the links around his waist, it was but the work of a few seconds to secure it. He was too much astounded to resist. Withdrawing the key, I stepped back from the recess.
You could throw a chain around a guy and...
I was practicing for a while.
I'm wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Magroom
I just feel like I've never been wasted enough to be chained to a wall.
All right.
Well,
Pass your hand over the wall.
Did you say at the Magroom Fest?
You cannot help feeling the nitra. Indeed, it
chain me
is
to a
very
wall?
damp.
Wait a second. I'd like to hold on.
Once
wanna get
more,
other-
let me implore you to return. No? Then I must positively leave you. But I must first render you all the little attentions in my power,
the Amontillado.
ejaculated my friend,
She just
not yet recovered from his astonishment. True, the Amontillado, I replied. As I said these words, I busied myself among the pile of bones for which I have before spoken. Throwing them aside, I soon uncovered a quantity of building stone and mortar, and said, "Mason, son of a bitch." With these materials and with the aid of my trowel, I began vigorously to wall up the entrance of the niche. I had scarcely laid the first tier of the masonry when I discovered that the intoxication of Fortunato had in great measure worn off.
So how long did that take? I feel
The earliest
that part
indication-
Drank
surprised
a
me.
whole lot to get sober up that quickly.
Well, I
Well,
gotta get some
and-
stones. I gotta make sure they're level. I
right,
don't want
well,
this
give me
to
an
look
idea.
shitty.
Give me an idea of the time frame there.
Hour? 30 minutes.
You think he sobered up in 30 minutes? I think
No,
he
well, he's
passed
just
out.
like freaked out of his mind, right?
He should be.
I have the metabolism of a Bengal tiger.
The earliest indication I had of this was a low moaning cry from the depth of the recess.
Oh.
It was not the cry of a drunken man. There was then a long and obstinate silence. I laid the second tier, and the third and the fourth, and then I heard the furious vibrations of the chain. The noise lasted for several minutes, No, you're not gonna do-
Let's do several minutes of that.
during which I might hearken it with the more satisfaction. I ceased my labors and sat down upon the bones. When at last the clanking subsided, I resumed the trowel and finished without interruption the 5th, 6th, and 7th tier. The wall was now nearly upon a level with my breast. Again I paused, and holding the flambeau over the masonwork, threw a few feeble rays upon the figure within. A succession of loud and shrill screams bursting suddenly from the throat of the chained form seemed to thrust me violently back. For a brief moment I hesitated. I trembled. Unsheathing my rapier, I began to grope with it about the recess. But the thought of an instant reassured me. I placed my hand upon the solid fabric of the catacombs and felt satisfied. I reapproached the wall. I replied to the yells of him who clamored. I re-echoed. I aided. I surpassed him in volume and in strength. I did this, and the clamorer grew still.
Reminds me of the scene in Silence of the Lambs when the girl in the
there.
well is screaming. Yeah.
Yeah. So should I yell there too, or you'll dub it in with your
No,
sound
just dub it
effects?
in.
Great.
Yeah.
It was now midnight, and my task.
And my throat's sore from coughing.
Yeah, but you're doing a good job, though. It was now midnight, and my task was drawing to a close. I had completed the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th tier. I'd finished a portion of the last and the 11th. There remained but a single stone to be fitted and plastered in. I struggled with its weight. I placed it partially in its destined position. But now there came from out the niche a low laugh that erected the hairs upon my head. It was succeeded by a sad voice, which I had difficulty in recognizing as that of the noble Fortunato. The voice said,
A very good joke indeed, an excellent jest. We'll have many a rich laugh about it at the palazzo over our wine.
the Amontillado.
Yes, the Amontillado. But is it not getting late? Will they not be waiting us at the palazzo? The Lady Fortunato and the rest. Let us be gone.
Yes, let us be gone.
For the love of God, Montressor.
Yes, for the love of God. But to these words I hearkened in vain for a reply. I grew impatient. I called aloud, Fortunato! No answer. I called again, Fortunato! Which is here where I feel like, at the end, I got the ultimate diss. He didn't reply to me. He's like, the guy's just, I'm going to diss him at the end.
What'd you get for...
Yeah, I should have taken the wall down and made him answer and then built it
Hey,
back up.
one more time. Just say hey one more time.
No answer still. I thrust the torch through the remaining aperture and let it fall within. There came forth in return only a jingling of the bells. My heart grew sick. It was the dampness of the catacombs that made it so. Not that I just killed a person. I hastened to make an end of my labor. I forced the last stone into the position. I plastered it up. Against the new masonry, I re-erected the old rampart of bones. For the half of a century, no mortal has disturbed them. In pace requiescat. The end.
Ooh, ooh, I like my groom. I like my groom. Ooh, ooh, my groom is good. My groom is good. Ooh, ooh, I like my groom. I like my groom. Ooh, ooh, my groom is good. My groom is good. My groom's good. Ooh, ooh, I like my groom. I like my groom. Ooh, ooh, my groom is good. My groom is good.
Nemo mi impiu l'assiette.